The Toyota Raize is definitely an anomaly. Now, let me explain to you why. You see, the Toyota Raize was introduced because of crossovers, which has existed decades before this car even made it to production, because back in 2016, 2017, Toyota made the idea that we need to fight the crossover problem, and they give it this look. Now, I don't hate the look. I kind of like it. I like the whole city vibe it has. It's definitely a city car because it has a 3-cylinder giving out about shy of 100 horsepower. But that was the route Toyota was taking with this GR Yaris. Sorry, not GR Yaris. This GR Raize. Now, the reason why they made a GR model is because, well, we all know that the GR Yaris sold really well. Well, because it's very hard to get, even here in Indonesia. But yeah, everyone wanted a taste of the GR Life, even with the GR Supra. They branded the GR like something you need to have, and so they made this. See, if your pocket wasn't that deep, you can get something like this, which, to be honest, at that time, didn't cost that much. You see, with a 3-cylinder engine, it's very fuel efficient. And again, designed to be a city car, fuel efficiency, comfort was definitely not in the main criteria. But I digress. We'll get onto that when we start driving the car and I get to tell you what I think about it. But to be honest, let's talk about the exterior-wise first. Exterior-wise, I love the big grille. You can see the radiator and the AC condenser. The radiator is tiny. It's not that big. So is the condenser. It's like, again, it's supposed to be a city car, so everything is supposed to be small, and it definitely looks like that. But this car, despite its small appearance, actually doesn't feel that tight inside. It actually feels quite spacious inside. And but yeah, so when you get the GR model, you have 17-inch rims. These has the InnoSave Eco ECG300S, sorry, EC300 Plus. Yeah, ring 17, all right, 17 inches, and that was huge. You see, I was kind of on the fence in this car, like mostly because 3 cylinders, you know, I don't believe in 3-cylinder cars, but this one changed my mind. This one changed my mind in ways that even I was surprised to see. And the comfort-wise is also insane. Let me just show you the back of the car. Now, of course, getting to the rear of the car, you can see why it's so appealing. It's very aggressive on the rear. And I believe in some models, you can put lights in these covers. You gotta like punch through them, but yeah. The GR Sport model, you get this black trim. When you take a look at the inside, it's very spacious. You also get a cover, which is cool, but you can't put anything on top of it because this is very flimsy and very thin. It's just fabric, you can see. But yeah, very spacious. You could take this car on road trips, and I guess that was what the market was supposed to do. This car was supposed to be a car that can just go anywhere, everywhere, because of its high ground clearance, which not that high. To be honest, the ground clearance, not that high, mostly because of the body kit it has. But without the body kit, it does raises it to enough, I would say, to traverse through off-roading. Though this car is front-wheel drive, which I don't know. People recommend going off-road in front-wheel drive cars. I recommend it. This is the 1 liter. Yes, it only has 1 liter. Not that big of an engine, but where it lacks in power, it gives off in fuel efficiency, which is why people get this car in the first place. Which I gotta say, again, I love the look. I always love crossovers. I don't know why. I like little nuggets. I like the Suzuki Swift. I like this because it's small and tiny, and it's just, oh. However, the secondhand market for this car is very stable. Like, this car has not gone down in price for more than 20%, which is insane. If you try to get an earlier model, it's still over the 150 juta line, which is like crazy. 150 million for a car like this. I would rather buy an old Merc, which I do have that. But yeah, I'm not here to complain about the car. I'm here to tell you why you should get it, or not get it. I'm just trying to review this car to show you the ins and outs, the plus and minuses about this car, the positives, the negatives, and the things that make people want it and not want it. Let me show you about the interior. Hello there. Now we are inside of the Toyota Raize. All right, it's so weird they call it a Raize. By the way, this car has a twin from the Daihatsu side of the family known as the Rocky, which, if you guys know the past about the Rocky, it's used to be rugged and very utilitarian. This, however, is the opposite because, as I said numerous times, this is a city car. They made it into a city car for a reason because of the global fuel economy and everything, which, again, this car actually gets very good gas mileage. If you guys are interested, do get the car for fuel. Comfort, secondhand, everything else, good. All right, so now let me just get inside so it's actually very comfortable. Push the start button. It has the GR stamp on it, which is amazing. It says welcome on the steering wheel, which is insane. It's very efficient, and yes, all you get is a head unit, which I guess this is the 9-inch model. No, it could be less. I don't really know the specifics, but this is like it's enough. It doesn't have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. If you want that, you have to replace it. Okay, AC vents, very AC venty. Okay, you have your power strips, you can charge. It doesn't have wireless charging for your car, so if you're looking for a car that has that, you're looking at the wrong car. You need to buy something more fancy. But yeah, they try to make the inside posh. However, they kind of did not do that correctly with plastic. Yes, everything is plastic except for the door handles. The door handles are leather. They're padded leather, actually, soft touch leather, which is really cool. Not soft touch, padded. They're padded leather, but the steering wheel is leather and you have the controls on the steering wheel for the audio and the mode for the audio as well. That's on the right. You can skip songs. You don't have cruise control. Interior wise, very basic, very simple. As I said, it is just for an A to B car. It's very fuel efficient. Comfort, not so much. It has a very hard suspension, but also not hard suspension. Does that make any sense? So if I go over bumps, the whole car just shakes like it did just now. So it's weird, but again, for city driving, you don't really encounter a lot of holes, and the road relatively smooth, but only in main Jakarta. If you go out of main Jakarta, it's questionable. But yeah, the car just is a car. That's what it is. It's a car that gets you from point A to point B. However, I would like to say the aftermarket, the modification market for this car, where people mod the Raize, the Rockies, you can make this car look very cool, very fancy. I have someone who owns a Subaru Rex, which is another twin to the Raize, because Subaru, Daihatsu, Toyota, they worked together to make this car, and they made it very, basically mass produce it to every different aftermarket, every different manufacturer, so they have like access to all of it, which is insane. So if you want to look for spare parts for this car, it's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. But yeah, how about this? We get to driving, so I get to tell you the driving feel of the car. We have to get to the back seat because this is a 4-door car, which, let me just push all these over, which means someone has to sit in the back seat, which not that spacious. My knees are hitting the seat with my current sitting position. I'm a very tall person. I'm not 6 foot though, but I'm very tall for Indonesian standards. But yeah, my foot is hitting the interior in the back seat. Plastic. I don't know if you guys can see my face correctly. I'm just gonna turn that on, see if that does any difference. The seat, again, dude, it has this fabric mixed with leather, which is very nice. I would say it feels very premium, but this is synthetic leather, so I don't know how it's gonna hold on for years in the future. But other than that, I do like the car as a daily commuter. This car is for people who are concerned about fuel consumption, like very concerned about fuel consumption. It doesn't have a big tank. It has like a 40-liter tank at most, but people don't really fill up that way. I do because I like having a car with full tank, but that's just me. The interior feels cheap, but not so cheap. And again, the suspension is just, it's non-existent. Would I recommend people getting this car though? If you have a kid, yeah, it's small enough for a kid. It's not gonna bother them, The car is just very small. My head's already very close to the thing. If you are 6 foot, however, 6 foot, not so good. If you're not 6 foot like me, it's okay. Comfort-wise, pretty okay. Again, you have the padded, not padded leather in the rear. It's plastic. This is plastic on the door trim. It's plastic. Oh, but they did everything good for the passenger and driver, which is good. But yeah, in the rear seats, you have like a phone charger in the back, and you know, it's really nice in here. Give it like a 6. It's not very comfortable. Long drives, you're gonna get very nauseous, but if you're just buying the car for fuel, and the exterior, I love the exterior. I just thought it would have a 4-liter engine, sorry, a 4-cylinder engine, but instead we got a 3-cylinder, 1-liter. Turbo! I forgot to say that. This car is turboed, by the way. So yeah, that gave it the extra oomph, but it is paired with a CVT transmission, which maintenance. You gotta do a lot of maintenance on a CVT, which you can't recline the seat, by the way. Like, yeah, this is it. You can fold it forward like that, so you can fit bigger stuff in the rear. But other than that, you're just stuck sitting in an upright position. So the seating position is very, it's good for your back. Let's just say that. If you have problem with posture, that is. But yeah, let's just get to driving the car so you guys can actually hear my own thoughts when I'm driving this thing. And now we are in the pilot position of the Toyota Raize. Does the head unit have Bluetooth? Yes, it does. It does have Bluetooth, and it works really well. It has a pretty good sound system, really good audio. Everything, it sounds really nice, works really well, and it is just such a nice car to be in. I don't feel like I'm in anything special driving this car. I feel like I'm in a car that can get me from point A to point B without worry. With all of this like interior pleasures, like this very big head unit, which I wish they added CarPlay from the factory. It was just like a huge missing out on Toyota's part. Other than that, everything else just seems so basic. It seems so normal. If I was a guy that just wanted a car to get me from point A to point B, this is definitely a car that I would get, because like it's comfortable enough, padded, you know, armrest on the left, and you have your, you know, armrest on the centering or the center console armrest, which is very nice. It is a CVT, so it's more smooth. However, it is very sluggish when you put your foot down. Your foot down, yeah. Very sluggish when you put your foot down, because now there's a reason for that. CVTs are not known to be very quick off the line, and also they're known to be very sensitive. To me, it doesn't invoke a feeling that I'm in a car that is very nice. I'm in a car that I could just hammer down and go. I'm in a car that I'm taking very slowly. I'm taking it very calmly. You could see the camera shaking just from that. Holy. But yeah, I'm in a car that can get me from point A to point B very comfortably. And I'm gonna keep repeating that point, because it's the only point that I can give that actually does that. It invokes that feeling very well. I'm not scared to take this car out on a long road trip to like Bali, let's say, because I know it is very comfortable. I know it's very good on fuel. I know it is, although sluggish on power and very underpowered, I know that I'm gonna make it through. High mountains, I'm not gonna take this car. Puncak, still very good. Anything like has a higher than like 20, 30, 35 degree, I think this car would struggle. It'll pull through, but it'll definitely struggle, because right now, even driving here, a couple of you know, speed bumps, it is like very screaming at me. It's like that's what it's doing. Sorry for the earphone users, but yeah, is the Raize a car that you want? In a sense, it is. It is a car that even I myself would want, and let me explain myself in words in which like and every office goer would do. You see, I'm up at 6 a.m. to go to the office, and I'm going to endure the traffic of morning rush hour. And if I was in a car that has more than 2 liters of engine displacement, I would be very sweating about the fuel consumption. However, in this, a 1-liter car, turbo, I'm not scared of that. And I am ready to, you know, fight the morning rush hour, because I'm not scared of fuel. You know, I don't have to be there in a hurry because it's a CVT, so I get there very smooth, very calmly. And again, I don't have to think about taking the car to like small roads, because in Indonesia you have to drive through alleyways and they can get really tight. But because of the size of this car, I'm not too concerned about that. Now, if I was driving something like a Toyota Camry or a BYD Seal or anything like a big sedan, I would think you know, like, maybe I shouldn't drive this car through this alley. But with the Raize, because of its size and stature, I could just go through it. And then if there are holes or potholes around the road, I'll feel them. I'll definitely feel them. But again, I'm not scared because the spare parts for this car is plentiful. I'm being very serious. Like the Subaru Rex, the Daihatsu Rocky, the Toyota Raize, and the Raize GR, um, all share the same spare parts. And with aftermarket support for Japanese cars being the way that it is, means that you can get a lot of these spare parts for cheap. And I think that's why people are buying this car, because this car is sold very well. Like a lot of people were buying this car, and yeah, I could see why, and I could understand why. And to my understanding, it's because of that. Because when I'm on my way to morning traffic, to my office, and I have to endure morning traffic, I want to do it in a car that I don't have to be worried about. Because again, I don't want to overthink about getting to my destination. Like, oh, is my car gonna make it? I don't want that. Which is the same with a lot of people when they buy newer cars. They don't want to have the headache. That's why, you know, they buy a new car so they don't have the headache. But yeah, that's to me, that's what the Raize is. The Raize is just, bottom line, it is a very comfortable car for your daily A to B commute. If you're taking this car on a road trip, it's not going to be comfortable. It is going to be fuel efficient though. You're going to be very underpowered, but you're going to love it. That makes sense? Because I've seen this car run over 140 kilometers an hour, which, kudos to anyone driving like that. I am scared of driving that fast in this car. Like, I am genuinely scared of driving that fast in this car. So if you guys do that, do it safely. And second, I respect you because, okay, it's an okay. I rank the total car at a 7 out of 10, which is kind of high. Really, it is kind of high. But the reason I give it that is because of fuel consumption. You see, in today's current economical climate, you need a car that's very good on fuel, which, if you get a 1 liter turbo, it is very good on fuel. I am now getting, according to the MID, 15 kilometers per liter, which is very good. I don't know how much that is in MPG, about 40 to 50 MPGs, maybe 60. I don't really know the math for MPGs, but very good on fuel. 1 liter for 15 kilometers, it's very good for a car with 40 liters. Well, you know, you guys have watched the video all the way through. By now, it's like a 15-minute video. You guys have seen me talk about the exterior and why I love it. You guys have heard me ramble about the interior and why I just don't like how cheap the interior is. But again, for the price you're paying for the car, can you really complain? Are you really in a position to complain about the interior quality when you pay the price of how much this car is? I'm guessing you really can't. And to me, it's not really something you would, you know, be mad about, because it's a car that gets you from point A to point B, which also gives me to electric cars. So you guys have probably seen the BYD Atto 1. Interior wise, a lot of plastic, but people say it feels more premium. Now, let me tell you why it feels premium. Because you don't feel the engine vibration. It is very well isolated, like audio wise. You know, you don't hear the outside sounds as much. But yeah, I'll get to a reviewing an Atto 1 when I get my hands on it. But yeah, how are you guys watching the video? How are you guys enjoying the video so far? If you guys do like the video, you guys like hearing me ramble on about cars, do give me a like. If you guys don't, tell me what you want me to improve on so I can make you guys stay longer in the video. And yeah, I hope I can gather more of your attention in the future. Yeah, this is the Toyota Raize. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the new one.